skyrocketing gas prices. Again, across California, drivers are staring at those station signs and asking the exact same thing. What actually happened? Just a year ago, we were paying around $4 a gallon. Today, some places are pushing 6. Now, politicians blame the war. Activists blame greedy oil companies. And the oil companies? They blame state regulations. But here is the problem. If any single one of those was the whole story, every state in America would be paying California prices. But they're not. So what's really going on? Let's start with the biggest myth, that it's all because of the war. Look, global conflicts absolutely rattle the oil markets. Traders panic, prices rise, and fuel gets expensive. But oil is traded globally. If the war was the only reason, California wouldn't consistently be paying way more than states like Texas or Arizona. The war matters, sure, but it doesn't explain the California premium. Which brings us to myth number 2, greedy oil companies. It's easy to think these corporations just woke up one day and decided to hike prices. But those same companies sell fuel all over the country. If they could just charge $6 everywhere, why aren't they? Corporate greed isn't new. That's a constant. What did change is how California's supply chain works. The real story is that California operates on its own gasoline island. Most people don't realize this, but we aren't hooked up to the massive pipelines that pump fuel from the Gulf Coast. We can't just pipe in extra gas from Texas when we run low. We rely almost entirely on our own local refineries. And lately, we've been losing them at an alarming rate. Decades ago, California had over 30 major refineries. Today, due to recent high-profile closures and shifts to biofuels, we are down to just a handful of major plants total. Think of it like a town losing its grocery stores. The population didn't change, so the remaining stores get crowded, supply gets incredibly tight, and prices skyrocket. On top of that, California mandates a unique, eco-friendly fuel blend to curb smog. Love the policy or hate it, the reality is that most out-of-state refineries can't even make it. So when our local supply dips, we can't just import a quick fix from our neighbors. This is why a simple refinery outage, just for regular maintenance, causes an overnight price spike here. In other states, a temporary shutdown is a hiccup. In California, it's a crisis because there's no backup. But it gets deeper than that. Let's talk about where California actually gets its raw oil. Most people assume California pumps its own crude, but the state now produces less than 25% of the oil it uses. The rest has to be imported. Because we don't have those interstate pipelines, that crude oil has to travel across the ocean on massive tanker ships from foreign countries or Alaska. Shipping oil through a local pipeline might cost $1 a barrel. Shipping it across the Pacific Ocean costs 5 to 6 times more. Those massive transportation fees are baked directly into the price you pay at the pump. Then, there are the hidden fees that go way beyond standard gas taxes. Everyone knows California has the highest state gas taxes in the nation, but nobody talks about the state's aggressive climate programs. Specifically, cap and trade and the low-carbon fuel standard. These programs require fuel suppliers to buy carbon credits to offset their environmental footprint. Combined, these hidden state climate fees add over 50 cents to every single gallon before the fuel is even refined or transported. When you add up the state excise tax, federal tax, sales tax, and these environmental program fees, you are paying roughly $1.30 in government costs on every single gallon, before you even factor in the actual cost of the oil. So, why is it so expensive right now? It's a deliberate policy squeeze. Over the last 20 years, California has passed strict mandates to reach net zero emissions. These laws send a clear message to energy companies. Long-term oil refining is not welcome here. As a result, companies stop investing in California infrastructure. They don't upgrade the plants, and eventually, They just pack up and close down. The state's goal is to force people into electric vehicles. But until everyone transitions, 40 million residents are left fighting over a rapidly shrinking pool of gasoline. The truth isn't a single villain. It's a perfect storm of global markets, strict blending laws, heavy shipping costs, aggressive environmental fees, and shrinking refinery capacity. If you take just one thing away from this, remember this: California's fuel system has absolutely no room for error. When everything goes perfectly, prices stay stable. But the second anything goes wrong, a refinery glitch, a shipping delay, a global shock, we feel it faster and harder than anyone else. So the real question isn't, who do we blame? It's, why did we build a system that's so incredibly vulnerable? If this breakdown made sense of the madness, hit subscribe. And let me know in the comments, what headline should we look into next?